Welcome to this learning video tutorial. This tutorial has been created to briefly show you how to schedule a Zoom conference meeting using the Zoom online web tool. Now, step 1 is go to the Zoom conference website and log into your Zoom account. Once you've logged in, you are now going to see this screen. On this screen, you need to look out for this tab called Schedule Meeting. I've indicated this with an arrow. So what I need you to do, click on Schedule Meeting. Once you've clicked on Schedule Meeting, you are now going to see this screen. This screen now is going to ask you to enter some information about your meeting. For example, the topic, the description, the date when the meeting is taking place, the time, the duration, the time zone. What you need to do, you now need to add this information. Maybe one thing I need to say, the description, this is option. This is something I've actually sometimes not filled in and doesn't have any impact on my meeting. So it's entirely up to you. And then the other thing I need to mention is the time zone. I think once I've done it, I didn't have to do it anymore. So if you use Zoom every now and then, it will remember it. But it's one important thing you need to check, just in case you are working under different time zone. The other thing is recurring meeting. We just need to ignore this box if it's not going to be a recurring meeting. But if you're one of those people who are going to be doing this meeting on a certain time and it has to be almost every week, then that's another box for you. But you can just ignore that. Now, before I move on, just in case you are using the free Zoom account, you may see a message warning you that you cannot run a meeting which is more than 40 minutes. Now, what I need to say, don't worry about this. Just enter the duration you want, even if it's 10 hours. I'm going to talk more about this point at the end of this tutorial. These are other things you need to check and update when you are scheduling your Zoom meeting. What you need to do, just tick the boxes that I have ticked. And the meeting ID, just tick it so that it's generated automatically. The password, I've just said to you that do not tick this password box. What I think is, don't tick the password unless you feel it's really necessary to have a password for the conference. Otherwise, that's something else that is going to delay your meeting. Especially if you manage to look at the tutorials we've created, you'll be able to see you can control people get into your meeting. So password is there if you really need it, but if I was you, ignore it unless you know it's really necessary to put a password. So the other boxes, just tick it as I've indicated. The host video is on, the participants video is off. The audio computer is very important. Please make sure you click audio computer. Don't click both. If you click on both, it's going to create another extra kind of set of information which will confuse your guests. So as I've indicated here, just do that. It's fine if you want to change the options. These are more things you need to check and update when you are scheduling your Zoom meeting. What you need to do is you need to indicate enable waiting room. To me, it's the most important thing here, but it's up to you if you want to take other options. But the reason enable waiting room is very important is when a guest logs in before you, they cannot get into the meeting room. That's really helpful. So if you come late, even if you didn't come late, but the guest came earlier than you, they shouldn't really get in. So it gives you enough time to prepare yourself. That's why I tick that box. But some people may take other options. So it's entirely up to you. When you run your meeting, you start finding out the best settings that are going to work for you. So if you're happy, then click on Save. What you're now going to do is you need to copy the invitations for your meeting and you are ready to send them to the students or to the guests. What I need you to do, you are going to see this screen here. It's copy invitation. If you can't see it, you need to scroll up and down. Because I've got a screenshot, it's in one place, but you may find it depends how big your monitor is, but it is somewhere here. When you click on that button, copy the invitation, you are going to see the meeting invitation details. They are here. And there is now actually a clever button which says copy meeting invitation. When you click on that button, it actually copies the information for you. You can now put this information either in an email and send it out, or you can also copy this invitation information and put it in a Canvas module site notification. So it's entirely up to you how you want to send out this information. But what I need to say, ensure the students know how to use the Zoom conference and send out help guides if needed. What also I need to let you know, support from the HSK EdTech team is there if you need it. You're also encouraged to look out for the help resources that have been created for both staff and students. Other staff member who's running a meeting looking through the students' help resources will enable you as the host in being aware of what your students go through. Hence, you'll be more prepared in helping them if they get into problems while accessing your meetings. So what I need you to do is just copy the invitation information and use any method you want to send it out to your students. Here is an example of our Zoom conference invitation. You can see the topic about the meeting, the time, the join Zoom meeting web link. I've also got the meeting ID. Please make sure your conference invitation details are very clear before you send them out to your students, especially the meeting web link and the meeting ID. Now, why do we have these two things? The meeting web link will be used by those accessing the meeting using the computer. The meeting ID will be used by those accessing the meeting using a mobile device. As you know, people have a preference. So if they want to access using a mobile device, they're going to use the meeting ID. If they want to use a computer to access your meeting, they will then use the join meeting web link. There are tutorials we've created for your students to show them how to access using both methods. I thought I'd include this section for you. Sometime you may schedule a meeting, but you don't have time to send out the meeting invitation at that point. You then come back another time. It could be one day, it could be a few hours. What I'm now going to show you, once you've logged back to your account, where do you get that information from? Once you've logged in, where you can see I'm now pointing is called meetings. When you click on meetings, you will then be able to see all the meetings that you have scheduled. Just in case you've got a busy account like this one for HSK, you've got another tab here called previous meetings. So it's up to you where the meetings could be, but I'm now going to go to upcoming meetings just in case those are the meetings coming. So I'm now going to click on the meeting that I forgot to send out the invitation details. So once you're on here, I'm now going to go to this meeting, and as I showed you before, copy the invitation. I click on that button and here we are. So I'll click on this button, copy invitation, and it's now done it for me. I can now paste it anywhere. I will now cancel this. Just in case you also made a mistake, you want to do some adjustments. Maybe you chose a wrong time, or you maybe chose wrong settings. So you can go down here and click on edit this meeting. If you see where I'm now pointing, edit this meeting, and you'll be able to see, just in case you chose a wrong date, you can choose it. You chose wrong time, you can change that. You chose different settings here. I'm not going to do anything because this one is fine. I will save if I've done some changes. I'm now going to cancel because I haven't done any changes. But this is one thing I've seen, that sometimes my task is to schedule a meeting and I go. Then I find another time to send out the invitation details. I may come back to this section just to find some information that I forgot. It could be changing the settings. It could be finding the invitation details to send out to my guests. This is a frequent question regarding scheduling Zoom conference meetings. Is there a time limit on how long you can schedule a meeting for? There is no time limit on how long you can schedule a meeting for. The key limitation is you cannot run the scheduled meetings beyond 40 minutes unless the account has got a full license. If you do not have a full license, the system will allow you to run the meeting, but it will stop the meeting after the 40 minutes. For the School of Health and Social Work staff members, if you are not aware, you can actually request for your account to be linked to the HSK Zoom license account, which will allow you to run your meeting without any time limitation. Access to the HSK Zoom license account will always be switched off whenever you are not using it, to allow other staff members to use it. Does this mean that you cannot schedule long meetings until you have access to a full Zoom license? Just to clarify this point, you can actually schedule your long meetings with your normal Zoom account. You do not need to wait until you are enabled to use the HSK Zoom license account to schedule long meetings. The most important thing is you must remember to request for your account to be enabled to access the HSK Zoom license account on the day you are running the conference meeting. So, to help you with your planning and to clarify what is going to be done, schedule your meetings as usual. Don't worry about the time limitation, but, and this is but, You must remember to contact the HSK EdTech team in advance, requesting for access to the HSK Zoom license account. An example, on the 2nd of July, I'm running a meeting for 3 hours for my students. What I will do, today I'm using my normal account. I'll log in, schedule all my meeting as usual. I know it is telling me 40 minutes, I don't worry about it. I put in my time I want. But at the same time, I'm now going to email the HSK EdTech team, letting them know about the date I'm requesting the access to the HSK licensed Zoom account. Then the HSK EdTech team will let me know if that has been put on the system. If it clashes with somebody, they will let me know. But at the moment, there are several accounts that can run at the same time. So the most important thing, let the HSK EdTech team know about your coming meeting, and you'll be at least informed if it's going to be possible or if it's not going to be possible. It's always more likely it's going to be possible. Please contact the HSK EdTech team for more details in how you can access the HSK Zoom license account. In order to help you gain a better awareness of what takes place in a Zoom web conference, you are encouraged to look out for the help tutorials and guides that we have created for you. They cover these key hosting Zoom features. There are also guest or student help resources. Looking through the guest or student help resources will enable you as a host in being aware of what your guests or students will go through. Hence, you'll be more prepared in helping them during your conferences. You can contact the HSK EdTech team if you have any questions or you need extra support and guidance in running your conferences.